Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I wanted to do an actual top comics of the year. I did one before, but it was just a joke video. It wasn't anything that was actually good. I had people wondering what I was talking about, and I was like, wait, are you brand new to my channel? Because I'm usually very sarcastic. So I actually wanted to take a look at the year in comics. The good, right? We gotta give credit where it's due, and there has been some really good titles this year. But first off, I want to start off by saying a huge thank you to everybody who replied to my video yesterday. I actually expected to receive quite a bit of hate, and I didn't. I actually got solid answers, solid criticism, solid remarks. So I appreciate everyone actually taking the time. I was surprised, but I appreciate it so much. So I want to talk honorable mentions first, because I do have a top 5. But as far as honorable mentions, I have a kind of a tie between 2. And that's only because, well, the first one is Damned, and we had 2 and 3 come out this year, but 1 did come out in 2018. So it kind of started the flow of the Black Label, and I kind of put it towards the back burner, and we've seen a lot of good Black Label come out since then. So not only that, but Saga. And the only reason I'm putting Saga as an honorable mention is because I'm just getting into it. It was one of those series that I never got into until it was way done. Like, oh, I really am enjoying it. It was sci-fi, something different. I usually enjoy stories about heroes, and usually I tend to gravitate more towards human characters. They are not human, but I love it so much. It's really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. So as far as that goes, I would say those are honorable mentions. But my definite number 5 would be, again, Black Label, Von Freeze. It was a story of, obviously, Freeze. And it was a real, and I'm going to be careful with what I say here, Nazi Germany. The bad guys in the World War. So we actually got a different take on the origin story when it came to Victor, and it was really good. I did it was very weird to me that the kid growing up the entire time that he helped raise was Nora, which is a little weird, but it still worked out in a weirdly romantic way. We got to see his dad being absolutely terrible. We got to see the birth of Bruce Wayne, which tied into, it's actually not on my list, but Curse of the White Knight, which I am enjoying. There's some characters within that, like Batgirl and stuff, that I don't particularly care for. I think they're a little bit out of order, but still worth mentioning. Now, if you've read, and I have reviewed, and I'll put all the links to my comic reviews in the description, Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder did a story to end their Batman run, basically, right? So Last Night on Earth was kind of the cap to whatever they did Batman style. And it was fantastic. I haven't read a Batman story, specifically Batman, this good in a really, really long time. From Alfred, who ends up dying, but he just wants to do best by Bruce, and this Bruce that we are actually reading about is a clone. But even so, we get an amazing Joker. We get in a lot of different rogues galleries, whether it's Poison Ivy in the beginning, and we get Scarecrow, Bane. We get a lot of really good characters. We get one of the best Dianas I have seen in a book in a really long time. She is just a complete badass. Her hair, to me, is super weird, but even so, it's a dystopian tale, so I kind of get it. But I love it. And I love at the end, and I guess I should say in the beginning of my videos that they're all spoiler warnings, but even so, I love at the end we get, to find out that the whole reason this dystopia was formed was because initially Batman in the anti-life equation, because of the original Bruce Wayne. So he comes to death. he dies, and we've got this rocket ship, and it kind of almost ties in a weird way with Doomsday Clock, with Superman being the center of the DC universe. But we get this baby Clark, and it's like a good, happy, wholesome ending. I love it. I really do. I really enjoyed everything about it. And I think if there was a cap put on Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder's run, this would be the perfect way to end it and it kind of begin anew almost. So as a whole, I would say my number 3 pick, and this I'm not picking specific books or series, I'm talking about as a continuity series as a whole, has been Red Hood. I haven't reviewed it since the annual, and that's because I don't really have a good reason. A lot of times I don't review good comics, and that's really dumb of me to do, but it's easier to roast something than it is to praise it. But Scott Lobdell has taken this, obviously Jason Todd is one of my favorite characters. He's taken him in the last year and transformed him from losing Artemis to, we're getting Artemis back at this point, and Bizarro. But he's given him his own team of outlaws. And at first, when I had something about being non-binary, and I'm like, oh no, where are we going from here? It was never mentioned again. Like, it wasn't anything super awkward to put in there for, woke points. It really wasn't. It was just a shapeshifter that was non-binary. Okay, I'm okay with that, as long as you're not preaching in my face. But his team has, he's grown from, like I said, being on his own, trying to find Artemis, everything else that's going on, to having a team that he has to mentor, that he has to take care of, because these kids don't know what they're doing. They don't know which way is up and which way is down. They are getting a little bit better, and I do love the team. I love the little baby. I love everything about it. And then the little added pup Superman. I love him, but that's on the Artemis side. So as far as this goes, I've been really impressed as a whole. It is definitely reading as the best as far as DC Comics goes. We know we can't rely on Batman or Superman at this point. Why not read Red Hood? Honestly, it's really, really good. So, number 2, and these 2 last ones are probably pretty obvious if you've been at my channel for any time. So, number 2 is Doomsday Clock. I read this as it came out, and then in the end of November, I reread everything before 12 came out, and I was just as impressed and noticed a lot of stuff I had missed the first time around. I think this year we've got, because it did take forever to come out, so we got 9, 10, 11, and 12 that actually came out this year, and I did review 12 and kind of talked about it as a whole. I could probably talk about some of these comics for entirely too long, so I tried to kind of limit myself, but the story, it has been spectacular, from fighting Manhattan to Manhattan actually having to raise this child in order to pass along his abilities. Not only that, but like I said, with Last Night on Earth, it kind of ties into Superman being the center of the universe. And then we did get some in 12, and I did go over them in my review, the different time frames that we had as far as what was going to happen from 5G on, which I'm not too impressed with at this point. And definitely not impressed with a different mantle for each of our major superheroes, which none of this will start till August, but they do mention it in this. So it's the first mention as far as continuity goes to the extended universe of DC and where we're going to be looking at in the future. I do feel like this is going to be something that flops. I could be totally wrong. I could absolutely love it. I highly doubt it. I want my Batman Bruce Wayne. I want my Wonder Woman Diana, and so on and so forth. It just makes sense to me. You don't change legacy you know what? That's for a whole different video. But my favorite part of Doomsday Cop, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, was Mime and Marionette. The best characters. Well, I love Reggie too, but Mime and Marionette were my favorite. The best characters, the best new characters to come out of DC in a really long time. And I love everything about them. They're charming. They're funny together. They keep you laughing. They keep you wanting to read. So definitely was worth my number 2. And I almost put it at number 1. But Harleen takes the cake. Now, I've been very open that I love Harley Quinn. Now, when Harley went New 52 and was like, I don't need no man, and then went with Ivy, she kind of lost her edge. She kind of lost what made Harley Harley. If you've read Mad Love or even Harleen, there was something always very intoxicating about Harley's personality to me. She was battered, she was bruised, but she was still this very smart, very attractive woman that could stand on her own, but she didn't want to because she was just that much in love. I didn't need it drummed down my throat that she could stand on her own or, go with Ivy at this point, who's, basically everything she is right now is being shipped with Ivy. Like, there's no more Harley anymore. And I think that's why I love Steven Sajak's Harleen. Because, yes, we saw a little bit of hot Ivy, and she did look really good. But it wasn't the focal point of the relationship. The focal point of the relationship was mad love, Joker-style stuff. Now, of course, Joker was super attractive in this. Gotta say, I love that. That helps so much. But the writing style down to the art, the fact that he did everything in this book except for maybe letters, was absolutely fantastic. The man is extremely talented. Like, I can't say enough good about this book. The only thing I can even criticize in the least is the fact that Steven Sajak has a way that he draws people, right? So if he's drawing Ivy, if he's drawing Harley, well, not Harley so much. Okay, Ivy, Joker, even Hugo Strange. They all have a very similar face shape. Like, he doesn't draw men a whole lot differently. He either draws them like emo, cute, or rugged. That's it. There's no in between. So the characters do blend, but that's his art style. So if that's the worst criticism I have, it was absolutely fantastic. The best story from Harley Quinn that we have seen since Mad Love, and that was 20 years ago. So that's saying a lot. Bruce Timm and what was it, Paul Dini that did that? I can't remember right off the top of my head, but they did a fantastic job. And this is just a predecessor that is just as good. So let me know what you guys think or what your top comics of the year would be. I definitely will have a little bit more as the year wraps up. What do we have? A day left. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
And I want to give a huge shout out to my Subscribe Star and Patreon. You guys literally make this channel possible. Thank you so much, Sanjuro, Way Else One, BG Torrance, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Grand Smear, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Jeremy Burks, Mike Buckner, Robert, and Timothy French. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you so much, and make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.